Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Nigeria Now, where we look at the matters arising in the country. Presently, we have quite a number of issues we would love to touch today on the show. We hope that you can be part of the program by joining us via Facebook and YouTube. Drop your comment, your views, and opinions on any of this matter we will be discussing this afternoon. I am Sarah Elisha Basham, and I bring the program alongside Rachel Tansy. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
All right, we have quite a number on our plates, even though we've been, I think, one of the top issues we've been seeing in Nigeria is the issue of insecurity. And we would love to touch on that today. We will recall that there was a little misunderstanding or crisis in Delta State, and it's very important that we actually touched that. Yesterday, you and I started discussing on the killing of about 16 initially. That was the report we have,
Yeah.
but then after getting some of the pictures and the names that were being displayed by the military, we got to discover that about 17 of these army men were actually being killed. And we've seen that papers had it, reports had it, that there was a reprisal attack coming from the military. And then here we're seeing the military is coming out to debunk that, to deny the fact that nothing of such is happening. But then it's quite questionable because yesterday the governor of the state went down for a tour to actually see the damage and all of that. But then the question here, or what seems to be kind of fishy, is the fact that journalists were denied access. They were unable to talk to the governor. They were unable to even see. There were armor tags that blocked to Okoma community. So journalists couldn't have access to that. And we know one of the things is that one of the constitutional right of every citizen, not just in Nigeria, but universally, is the fact that you have the right to know what is happening. And that is why we have the press that actually makes sure that people are knowledgeable, people know what is currently happening around them and within them. And I keep saying the fact that the media is the fourth arm of democracy, whether we like it or not, because after we have the executive, after we have the judiciary and the legislative, we have actually the media that actually let people know this is what. No wonder in other countries, when you have elections, the people who get to announce the result is the media, not even a commission such as ours here, NEC or INEC, however we see. But a number of people are coming out to say we are having some of the indigents of Delta coming out to state the fact that they cannot actually do a lot. They're being attacked by these military men. They could just come into any town hall meeting, start shooting. A number of people have been killed, arresting. They said if it was just arresting people, it would have been better. But people are also losing their life. And here we're having the media denying that. So at this point in time, with the state actually not allowing media to do their work, journalists are saying, this actually raised an eyebrow. What really are they trying to cover? And we're seeing that in the same vein again. Just recently, about 2 people again were being killed by the police force in Asaba, still Delta State. And people are coming out to state the fact that, why is this thing happening? You and I know that we've been talking about the fact that it is important that when we have issues of civilians, there are better ways to go about it, rather than we see firearms being open, live firearms being open on innocent people. We've had that when we have protests even from students and all of that. Now, questions are, why have the governor been quiet all this while? We got to understand that the issue of the communal class started from January, and nothing, and this killing started since last week Thursday, and the governor have not said anything. Are we trying to say, or is the governor trying to send the signal that he's not on the matter in his state? These are questions that Nigerians are asking, and they actually need answers concerning all of this that is happening. On one side, the military is denying reprisal attack, and on another hand, we are having the people saying we are under attack from the military.
Without this attack from the military, or rather on the military, I think we never had known that something like that was going on in a community. And I know it's a good thing to always, paint the heroism act of our soldiers and all of that. But we're in a country where certain things should have been avoided, but are not. And then we still have a government that will give it whatever name they want to in the end. Now, for a military that kind of have lost its placement where it's supposed to be and function, and kind of is always out of its jurisdiction, just playing politics together with government, is to really be difficult for people not to believe that our government will act in a manner of reprisal. Let's not forget that since yesterday, we saw the news saying that these community people have fled. They are no longer there. The question is, who is burning their houses? They will not burn their houses. It will take someone who is not from the community, most likely the other community or these soldiers. And then looking at the kind of statement coming from the president, telling them to do whatever it takes to bring the culprit to book and all of that, I won't be surprised if such is going on. And secondly, for military that will be able to fall so easily, I mean, to just find themselves in a situation that such top-ranking soldiers were killed and others alongside, you can't just help but wonder that, you know what, this act or attitude is possible from our military. It's a good thing that they are denying it. It doesn't change the fact either way, though. It's good that they're saying, no, it's not true, it's not what it is. We would like to believe you. However, we want to see you in the first place. This shouldn't have happened. We expect, it shows incompetency, regardless of how this news is out there selling. For our military men that are being trained, top-ranking military majors, lieutenant colonels, and all of that, to be killed in such a way, it already says a lot about our military. And yes, we might paint the picture of them being heroic and all of that, but it shouldn't even happen in the first place. What I'm expecting now is not to just, because we saw that we saw earlier today that some people have been arrested. Who are these people? How sure are we that it is the people in charge of what happened? How are we sure it's not just angry military just going after who might look like? Because if you knew the people who mount this attack on you in the first place, it means you had a prior information which you didn't work on, and you fell into a trap, and you got, like, there's so much underneath the story that you just can't help but wonder. And it's not that you're mounting arrest. You know the specific people, because if it is a communal clash, what we know is that there are people leading certain things in a community. It can't be just the entire community. We saw that with the gang violence in Benue that took place some weeks back, where there was the name of this gang. They are all from coming and clashing and all of that. It's the same thing. What is happening at the Niger Delta, and in this case, precisely, we want to see intelligent moves coming from the military, not just random arrest. Not just we want to see an arrest by saying the head of the community that led the group of so people to cause the problem that led to the loss of the lives of this military. Now, if you have one person that is truly behind the people that killed our soldiers, you get every other person. But if you're not getting other person through this one person, it means you have the wrong people in detention. And with the story flying left, right, center with reprisal, no, we expect better. But these are some of the things that when you see, you just can't help but wonder. This high level of incompetency tells us a lot, and it also proves to us the fact that this is why we are still where we are, and we have insecurity thriving better than any other thing in this country as it is now.
You really stated the point clearly, Rachel, because, you know, just like I said earlier in the morning, it looks more like a trap was being set for these soldiers, because I just can't comprehend. I just need somebody to help me understand this better. That it doesn't make sense where you see a major, you see a colonel, you see top-ranking soldiers being involved in that, even though you and I stated that yesterday, the fact that in issues like this, we're not supposed to be seeing the soldiers intervening. I mean, we have places where they are setting arm of the police that are supposed to take charge of issues like this communal clash. And talking about the issue of communal clash, when you come to the Niger Delta, it's not new, Richard.
It's not new.
This is something that is as old as
it's
the
not
States.
new.
And no wonder we're seeing some of the indigents of the state are saying the way the soldier is going to look like what happened one time in Bayelsa during the Odi crisis, where we saw that there was the killing of soldiers and retaliation coming from the soldier, and before realizing there was bloodshed, a lot of bloodbaths took place over there back in those years. So I'm just hoping that we don't have a repetition of that. Just like we say, there are better ways to actually approach certain matters, and even the issue of that I said, two Okada drivers were being killed by the police, and then pictures have been circulating where you could see some of these Okada drivers with stones and sticks trying to actually confront the police. And we remember we kept talking about the fact that there's civilian ways of handling issues like this. That is why we have mobile police. That is the main reason why we had issues like this, so they could tackle this. So when we go to other countries, there are things we should learn from them as well.
It is only in Nigeria, Sele, that you will see armed men firing at unarmed civilians. If that is a crime, that is a crime that should be tried, judged, and executed. If I'm holding a stone, you can't shoot a gun at me. If I'm holding a stick, you can't, even if I'm holding a knife, we're not holding the same weapon, you can't shoot at me. Live by gun laws and all of that. Until I am armed with a gun, pointing at you. So like in civilized country, even if I'm holding a gun, if I don't point it at you, you can't shoot at me. Even if I am holding a gun. Because when we want to talk about civilization, let's copy the right thing. If we want to grow, I keep saying it, we do not copy the things that will make us grow. But in this country, immediately, we are not even supposed to see any more confrontation with the soldiers and the community people anymore. You can mount your station there for the peace of these civilians, but not for you to keep going after them as if you are at combat with another military country, with the military of another country, or terrorists, or armed bandits. But it's only in this country you're out on a peaceful protest and they are firing guns at you. What for? Who is holding a gun? Who is holding a weapon? And we keep seeing things like that, and you wonder, do we want to grow? Do our soldiers, do our military, do our law enforcement, do the forces in this country know what they are doing at all? Because if they do know what they're doing, we're not supposed to be seeing certain things happening that keep happening in the country.
Well, we look forward to seeing reorientation of our security agency again. I think there was a time you were talking about the work jurisdiction where we see certain arm walking into another person's jurisdiction. No wonder on the road, the soldier will stop you, policeman will stop you, road safety will stop you, VIO will stop you. At the point, every vigilantes will stop you.
Yeah, vigilantes will do that
I
too.
mean, who is supposed to do what at a particular time? Well, there are things happening. We don't see them that much. So we hope to see more reorientation from our security agency and a better way to handle certain things. And we know that the story is far from being over. And we hope that whatever the situations are, the perpetrators should be brought to book, because of course we are not encouraging the killing of our armsmen. Because talking about the killing of our soldiers is actually an attack on the nation. We know how important they are. The joy of every soldier, Richard, is to die protecting his country. That is what they actually, you know, that is the risk of the job. They know that, and that is their joy and happiness. But not to die for something as flimsy as a communal clash. I mean, that doesn't bring so much, you know, glory for them. But we hope to see better approach coming from people. Now, still talking about the issue of insecurity, Rachel, we can't get tired of talking about it. In fact, at a point in time, beginning to feel that it's becoming a normal thing. And I hope that we don't get to that point where it's a normal thing to actually hear that people were being kidnapped. Now we're seeing that fresh 87 people again have been kidnapped in Kaduna State. Rachel, and it looks more like Kaduna have become a place where these terrorists are having a field day. These terrorists can walk in and walk out of that country, and we don't even hear any casualty coming from them. They take people out of the state without any stress, and you tend to wonder what is happening. Kaduna State is known, in fact, Southern Kaduna, if you're talking about all the bodies of security agency, you find it there. If you're talking about the NDLA, it's in Kaduna. Talking about the Air Force is in Kaduna. Just keep mentioning all these security outfits, Rachel. You find it there. Yet attack upon attack upon attack, and you just cannot help to wonder what exactly did these terrorists keep in that state that maybe somebody, I don't know, did somebody steal anything from them? You just can't help but wonder that innocent people are paying a price for nothing they know about. Mostly women and children are always the victim. If there's a massacre, they are still the ones that are at the detriment of the hands of these people. Of course, we've heard the governor of Kaduna State say they're doing all that they can. I mean, we saw him just about 2 days back or so sharing food. Even in Sokoto State, we see them sharing food because we know it's the Ramadan, they are celebrating and all of that. But beyond sharing of food, what else are the government doing? Why are we having these communities unguarded? Why are they not being protected? You already know that this is what these people have in mind. Okay, right now they have not even called out or reached out to say why they are doing what they are doing. Nobody have come out to take full responsibility. So right now, all they can say is that arms made or bandits. Nobody said whether it's a Boko Haram, ISWAP, who are the people responsible for all of this. But beyond the name, what is the government doing? People have been calling on the president, I mean, from the kidnapping of those over 200 students to do something. We've seen that their motikus over there at the Southwest are trying what they can do to make sure that they mount guards at various schools. But then for how long can this thing go on? For how long are we going to be quiet? For how long are Nigerians going to endure this? We might be looking at Kaduna, but I made mention of this earlier in the morning. We do not know which state is next online.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time you hear Nasarawa, Plateau State or something. What is the government of the day doing? Because I keep calling on the president because he's the chief in charge of armed force. So therefore, everything that has to do with security lies on his head. He signed for this job. He knew what it was involved. So people are just wondering, why is all this thing going on right under the nose of our leaders? And it seems as if they are doing little or nothing concerning protecting lives and properties of Nigerians.
What is happening is just a proof that everything we say here, we speculate, we assume, we think, and we know is the truth of what is going on in Kaduna and Southern Kaduna, to be precise, Selim. It's politics. If something happened once, right, it can be a mistake. Twice, well, a mistake taking another form. But when it keeps happening 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you're allowing it. You are absolutely allowing it. This philosophy doesn't just apply in making mistakes or other areas of life. Even in governance, even in protecting the lives of people, even in everything that concerns us. So maybe we can take it as far back as when Kaduna ever started having insecurity. It was allowed. Mistake. The second time, we didn't know it was going to happen again. But after that, it's just let it be. It's politics, and it's just the government playing with the lives and properties of people. And we can fast forward it now to where we are, to the present, to recent days precisely. And every time we talk, so like we live here and we come back with a repetition of what just happened. And we say it will happen again, and it keeps happening. And I will say this is not some high IQ prediction. Anybody can. A common man following and knowing what is happening on the news, on the papers, direct information present, knows that it will continue happening. Why? Because nothing has been put in place to stop it from happening. Nothing. When you know an area is prone to certain attack and you do not guard it the right way, you're literally directly allowing that thing to repeat itself again. Because after 280 students are being kidnapped, It means there should be an intensified security in that region for a while. Well, days after, and then we have another over 40. Okay? Then another 14. Then another 87. And tomorrow we are going to wake up to another something number out there. Why? Because nobody is doing anything. And just as you said, the fact that we have our defense academy in a place like Kaduna, for example, and still yet something like that is happening, it means nobody's facing that direction. Nobody's attention is there. It's like, Southern Kaduna, deal with your problem, face it, and we cannot do anything about it because we are asked not to do anything about it because it just don't make sense. And we can talk and talk and talk about this, and it just points to the same direction over and over and over, that nobody is doing anything. The Nigerian government is not doing anything about it. And just as you said, President Tinubu is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So if he's not giving an order for something to be done about it, nothing can be done about it. So until we have the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federation giving a command and saying, this is, finish this issue, it will not be finished. Unless we have our lawmakers calling them what they are and not herdsmen, unknown gunmen, bandits, and all of that, until we will keep staying where we are. And that is just where, and it's just unfortunate that you might think it's now the people of Southern Kaduna, but you don't know where next is, and you might be there, and your family might be there. And it could be the roads. You don't know. You might think you're in the city of Jos. Guess what? Tomorrow you have to travel to another state. Next tomorrow you might find yourself on the way to Maiduguri. You might find yourself on the way to Sokoto. You might find yourself on the way to Zamfara. You might find yourself on the Kaduna-Abuja Express Road. You are not stagnant except if you don't want to grow. And it will get to everybody eventually. So let's do something about it. It's for everybody to talk. Call the government to come and do something about it.
Rachel, honestly, I just hope that they would do that. You know, people have said enough of the talks, enough of calling our chief, talking about our security chiefs for meeting. I remember when they went to Kaduna, I mean, there was so much of reading of riot acts for all of these people. But I wonder why we're seeing the sudden silence concerning what is happening in Kaduna. Is there underground work working that we're not aware of? Just like you say, they should help us make sense of this whole thing that is happening.
Yeah.
And I believe it will only make sense if we see these people being reunited with their loved ones again. That is when we know that the government actually have the interests of Nigerians in heart. Until they do that, Rachel, just like I say, we'll keep holding them accountable. It is our responsibility to let the people know what is happening and to remind the government again of what they promised the people. We remember saying that we'll read their manifestos for them. We saved it. So just in case they can't remember, we'll help read it out for them so they can actually know what they are supposed to do. Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for doing this with me. And also thank you to our viewers. Thank you for keeping this moment with us. We look forward to meeting you again tomorrow. Please do have a great day ahead.